All right, Shalom Akim. First and foremost, want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Honors to all you brothers that's also laboring in his work, continuing to push out this gospel in all truth, faith, and sincerity. So yeah, I just want to get into a quick lesson, pretty much dealing with the true balance of power on the planet. Because you got a lot of people who would say it's between Russia and America. Well, that whole dynamic is being played out between righteousness and wickedness, all right? That's the true balance of power on a spiritual level. Righteousness being in the form of the sincere men here at Great Millstone, and wickedness being played out by these so-called banking families, all right? The wicked elite, these Rothschilds, these Gettys, Morgans, DuPonts, Fitzgeralds, Oppenheimers. Well, we're in a time where those two oppositional forces is pretty much facing off. And ultimately, righteousness will overcome. And righteousness is overcoming. How is that? Because we disrupting the agenda of the wicked elite, all right? Their New World Order, the implementing of the RFID microchip, which is the mark of the beast that's spoken of in Revelation, the 13th chapter, all right? The Lord is consuming this man with the spirit of his mouth. That's coming in the form of the men here at Great Millstone, the prophets, all right? Which is doing more damage and is more of a threat to the so-called white man, all right? And in particular, the chief house of the nation of Edom, than any weaponry, any carnality, or any standing army, all right? So with that, I just want to get right into it. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 112 and verse 4, starting at verse 4, unto the upright there ariseth light in the darkness. Yeah, and that light is dealing with this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of the scriptures, all right? Which, you know, these banking families, all right, whatever you want to call them, the Illuminati, that shadow government that rule the world behind the scenes, that's truly sitting in the power seat, where they put a lot of time, money, and resources into keeping us in the darkness. But the Lord performed a miraculous miracle by waking us up and having his light to arise in our heart, all right? He is gracious and full of compassion and righteous. A good man showeth favor and lendeth. He will guide his affairs with discretion. Surely he shall not be moved forever. The righteous shall be in everlasting remembrance. He shall not be afraid of evil titans. His heart is fixed, trusting in the Lord, right? And it's dealing with the sincere men. We're not afraid of evil titans, meaning what? The danger that's on the horizon. We truly trust in the Lord. Verse 8, his heart is established. He shall not be afraid until he see desire upon his enemies, which only the men here at Great Millstone have that thought process, man. All right, when you really be honest about the situation, because a lot of these different groups, they don't want to see the desire upon their enemies, man. They don't want to see the fall of their enemies. Why? Because they, under these 501c3 charters, they're looking to build schools and become established in this kingdom, which means they need the so-called white man, their enemy, to stay in power, all right, to fulfill their dreams. So there's only one group that the Most High is pretty much dealing with. There's only one group that's truly an oppositional force of the elite, that true balance of power, that true fight between wicked and righteousness, all right? Verse 9, he have dispersed, he have given to the poor, his righteousness endure forever, his horn shall be exalted with honor. Verse 10, in a point, the wicked shall see it and be grieved. Right, and how is the wicked seeing it? By way of this internet, man. Because although we know that the internet was set up, YouTube and all these different media outlets, all right, was set up for the Lord's word to be pushed out throughout the four corners of the world. But ultimately, it was set up for the elite, the wicked, to receive their judgment, man, face to face. This is a form of righteousness and wickedness facing off by way of the internet. That's how the wicked see it. Because at no time are we able to just roll up on, you know, the Rothschilds, all right, one of these big banking guys, and give them their judgment. So the Lord set it up where they got to see us on the internet. That's how they see it. So again, it said, the wicked shall see it and be grieved. He shall gnash with his teeth and melt away the desire of the wicked shall perish. Right, meaning when we bring out these prophecies, all right, that further puts the agenda of the wicked into a quagmire, man. There's been times where they wanted to bring out the chip, but when you see men such as the apostles and other men bring out counter videos warning the people about the chip, then that causes the wicked elite to go back to the drawing board, man. That's why in Revelation, the 12th chapter, it tells you that the devil shall come down with great wrath, knowing that he have but a little time. Because by us bringing out this truth, that's upsetting this man's plans. All right? Matter of fact, this is the book of Job, chapter 5 and verse 12. He disappointed the devices of the crafty. And how is that? By bringing out these prophecies, by consuming the wicked elites with the spirit of his mouth, which is what? When men such as myself, all right, and others that's bringing out these prophecies, when we bring out these lessons, we go out on the highways and hedges, upload these videos, and it's pushed out to the masses of the people, then what happened? It disappoint the wicked elite's agenda. Because you got to remember, they like to deal under that shroud of secrecy, man. And we putting it on blast. That's why it tells you that in the book of Obadiah, I think that's the 7th verse, how are the secret things of Esau searched out, how the hidden things of Esau searched out. Because this man is the devil. He like to deal under that shroud of secrecy. But we sharing the light on it. And that actually disappoint his plan. So it said, he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. See? So we are the biggest threat, all right, to the wicked elite. And they know this. They're not worried about some fictional terrorist group, all right, Al-Qaeda, Taliban. They're more worried about the men of the Lord. That's who they spend their time and money trying to silence. Us, because they're being consumed by the spirit of the Lord, all right? And they actually see us. And to prove that, this is the book of Psalms, chapter 23 and verse 5. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies, right? And what's that table? This knowledge. The Lord has prepared this knowledge for us in the presence of our enemies. And who is our enemies? The so-called white man, starting with the banking families, man. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over, right? So the Lord has pretty much put the elite and the elect face to face. We're in a time where we're facing off, man. All right? Everybody else is just caught up in the middle. The true balance of power on the earth is righteousness and wickedness, which comes in the form of great millstone versus the wicked elite in these banking families. And we are facing off. We face to face. They actually see us, all right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 37. And I'll start at verse 9. For evildoers shall be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they shall inherit the earth. For yet a little while, and the wicked shall not be. Yea, thou shalt diligently consider his place, and it shall not be. Yeah, which is a cut on you guys who claim that there's going to be certain Edomites scattered around. Verse 11, but the meek shall inherit the earth, and shall delight themselves in the abundance of peace. The wicked plotteth against the just, and gnash upon him with his teeth. Right, so how is the wicked plotting? Why is even the wicked thinking the plot? Because they see us, all right? Because why? We are faced off. We are facing off with them. We are in the final stage of the movie. The good guy facing off against the bad guy, man. And this is proof, all right? Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2 and verse 1. For the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright. Our life is short and tedious, and in death of a man there is no remedy, neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave. Yeah, and a lot of people will try to use that as a rallying cry against reincarnation. Well, that means once a man fall out of power, they won't come back. All right. Verse 2, for we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been, for the breath in our nostrils is as smoke, and a little spark in the moving of our heart, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as the soft air. Yeah, meaning that the elite know that after this rulership, they're not going to come back into power. Because you got to realize these banking families, they know these scriptures, man. They understand the prophecies, man. All right? That's why they are actually hearkening to what we say. The average Edomite, or even Jake for that matter, they see us on the corner and they dismiss us as a bunch of angry Negroes, man. All right? Especially the so-called white man. They don't look at us as a threat because they don't see no weapons or no standing army. But guess what? The elites, they take us serious. Matter of fact, I'm going to jump back to this and let me get a quick scripture. All right? Which is going to tie into all of this. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 11 and verse 11. And after 3.5 days, the spirit of life from the Most High entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them. And who is that dealing with? The elite, man. These average people don't fear us, man. And the key is that saw them. So the elites is watching us, man. And we was actually going to this at camp. All right. These elites, you know, they subscribe to the apostles. All right. And when they get that alert, they like, oh shit, they probably got pill bottles sprawled all over the place. All right. They trembling, man, because they know what we saying is true. Now back in Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 2. And let me jump down to the point. All right. Yeah, verse 12. Therefore, let us lie in wait for the righteous, because he is not for our turn. And how do they know that? How did they come to that assessment? Because they watching us. The elites is not walking up on the camp, man. How do they know that we are not for their turn? Because they subscribe to us, man. This is that face-off. And he is clean contrary to our doings. He upbraided us with our offending the law, and objecting to our infamy, the transgressions of our education. He professeth to have the knowledge of the Most High. How do they know these things, man? Because they watching us, man. And he calleth himself the child of the Lord, and that's what we do. We call ourselves the Israelites, which pretty much means child of the Lord, all right? Or sons of the Most High. He was made to reprove our thoughts. He is grievous unto us, even to behold. And how did they come up with that? Because they actually watching us. We are grievous to the elites, man. Everybody else is laughing at us, scoffing at us. But the elites, they are grieved to behold us. For his life is not like other men's, his ways are of another fashion. We are esteemed of him as counterfeits. He abstaineth from our ways as from filthiness. He pronounces the end of the just to be blessed, and maketh his boast that the Most High is his father. So, again, how did the elites, how did the wicked come up with this assessment? How did they come to this conclusion? Because they watching us. Meaning that's that face-off. That's that true balance of power. We're in a time where wickedness and righteousness is actually facing off. All right? And their desire is going to be disrupted. Why? Because of our words we speak, which are not our words. We just speak in the judgment of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah into our reality. So yeah, I hope this was an edifying lesson. Until the next time I say Shalom.